Oh, come on, Rey. Just get the belt already. He used to spank his little ass over video games. And now all of a sudden it's a huge problem. I mean, I know it's not okay, but I feel like we can make an exception right here, right? Like seriously, dude, at this point you got plenty of reasons. Yes, people, we got another decent episode of Friday Night SmackDown. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that this WrestleMania looks like it's going to suck. I don't feel that way. I'm actually very excited about WrestleMania. I mean, these two matches are definitely black sheep. I feel like they used Universe Mode Randomizer, but all in all, it feels huge in my opinion. Roman Reigns meets Cody, Ripley in action, Familia Heartbreak, Intercontinental Championship situation, and the Drip God Bobby Lashley. All of that in a second. This video is sponsored by Wrestling GM, where you can actually prove that you can book it better. Wrestling GM is the best wrestling simulation game in the world. The only game where you can be a business owner, TV show writer, and universe creator at the same time. Pick who fights, who becomes champion, manage each wrestler's career, write your own storylines and feuds, and even create your own wrestlers and companies. Find out why 250k plus players continually keep playing Wrestling GM. The game is very deep and the opportunities to play it are endless. It is the perfect mix of creativity and strategy. You can control and create all the outcomes within the game. I also played this game before on my channel. The playlist of Wrestling GM series is in the description below. Wrestling GM is available on all iOS and Android devices, and there is a link to download the game in the description. Welcome back to another episode of Greatness of SmackDown. How are you guys doing today? Let's talk about what happened on the show. So the show kicked off with the Bloodline, Acknowledge Me, and we go straight to Cody Rhodes. I feel like this was a wonderful promo. A lot of people don't like the fact that they're using Dusty, but I mean, you kinda have to. And it's Cody, so it's kinda acceptable. I know it might be a little bit tasteless, but at the same time, it's kinda more realistic that way. I don't know. Wrestling was Dusty's life. Not only he was one of the greatest professional wrestlers, he mentored other wrestlers until the end, so I kinda feel like he would be okay with it, if that makes any sense. Cody says, you don't need the Bloodline right here, and Roman Reigns tells all of them to leave. He drops the belts on the floor and says, what do you want to talk about? Cody says he wants to talk about him. You've been the undisputed champion for 915 days, and it seems like it's an impossible mountain to climb, but he's all about impossible. People thought he's just going to be Randy Orton's sidekick. He can't escape the Stardust gimmick. It's impossible to host a little indie show and get 10,000 people. But he overcame all these things, and he will overcome Roman Reigns too. They straight up pretty much mentioned kinda AEW. That's weird. Roman Reigns says, you never main evented WrestleMania and you never held one of these. I did all of these things. Roman says, I've been groomed as a kid. I was like, where the hell is he going with this? I was groomed by my father. I was groomed by your father too. And he talked about how Dusty talked about Roman Reigns main eventing WrestleManias, and he pretty much saw what Roman Reigns is going to become. He put the confidence in Roman Reigns. This kinda felt emotional. I think there's some realism in this. He says he misses him, but of course Roman had to ruin the moment. And you know what he used to say about you? Nothing. Okay then. Maybe he talked about you with Becky or Owens or Rollins, but when we were together, he never talked about you. Reigns offers his hand, but then Cody talks about what this match means. Now it's a necessity. All these comments about Reigns being the son that Dusty wanted. Now this match is a necessity. He has to beat Roman at WrestleMania. May the best man win, and they shook hands. It's pretty interesting. I feel like, what other way can you really tell this story? I think it's going to evolve, it's going to get even more personal, we're gonna get the attacks or whatever, but this match is basically built on Cody is the only man who can beat Roman Reigns, but it's not too predictable because now, 1,000 days. Roman has to reach these 1,000 days. If Cody beats him, he won't. But if Cody loses, what a missed opportunity. I like that. Now it's unpredictable. Then we saw Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. That was a really nice match. So weird seeing Rhea Ripley wrestling on SmackDown. The whole vibe, the whole presentation is absolutely perfect. From the theme song to the look to the moveset, everything is it just screams the next SmackDown Women's Champion. And I really like the finish. This submission looks brutal. Really suits her character. So obviously Rhea Ripley wins the match, but that's not everything we saw. drama from Rhea and Dom Dom. Roman asks where Jay is. Jimmy says he needs more time. I'm running out of patience. I'll talk to him. Not with him, but with you. And later on the show, Jimmy said that Jay said, leave me alone. So Roman tells Heyman if by the next week Jay will not be here, he will blame Jimmy. So Jimmy will be responsible for everything. Not Sami, but Jimmy. And he also told Jimmy to get rid of Sami Zayn because that's the only way to get Jay back. Santos Escobar talks about Rey Mysterio. How could you disrespect him like that? I'm going to beat the respect out of you. Mommy? I don't know why, but this was great. This was so charismatic. What a badass. So this was another fun match. I really like this SmackDown for some reason. Such an interesting side story. Like the real story is Rey Mysterio versus Dominik, but this is like a nice side quest. Santos Escobar has the gifted Rey Mysterio mask. He basically worships the mask. He carries the mask to the ring. Now, of course, with the help of Rhea Ripley, Dom Dom picks up the W and he destroys the mask. Hearts were broken. We see Rey Mysterio. He said something in Spanish, and this time he didn't even translate it. Sometimes Rey Mysterio is like, I'm going to beat the crap out of you. That is something in Spanish. He says the same thing twice to people who understand both languages. I never understood why. Dominik drops the mask. Rey was about to pick it up and he smacks him in the head. Rey Mysterio, it's time to act. It's time to get the belt. So again, how can you not be excited about WrestleMania? Dominik versus Rey is another interesting match we are most likely going to get. Or it's going to be some kind of a tag team match, which I hope is not the case. Then we see Drew McIntyre and he says, I don't have a match at WrestleMania. Gunther, I challenge you. But we see Sheamus and Sheamus is offended. You know how much that championship means to me, fella? So they basically argued. Sheamus says, what kind of a friend are you? You betrayed me. Drew McIntyre had enough. He says, friends tell the truth. You had the opportunity twice and you blew it. So things got personal. Then we see a bunch of more people joining and it seems like everyone wants the Intercontinental Championship. But the thing is, next week we are going to get a qualifying match, which I feel like is kind of a missed opportunity. A ladder match with all these talent would be great. It's not one of these Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal situations where you just have to fit a bunch of people to WrestleMania. A ladder match does that and also gives us an amazing match. But at the end of the day, Gunther versus Drew or Sheamus or a triple threat is also pretty nice. We saw Shayna Baszler versus Tegan Nox. This was probably the lowest point of the show. Of course, Shayna Baszler won. One interesting thing is that Shayna came out with Ronda's music and Tegan Nox came out with Natalia's music. So it's like they're mentors now, I guess. The drip god Bobby Lashley came out and he called out Bray Wyatt. Don't be a coward, meet me eye to eye. We hear Uncle Holiday's music instead, but Bobby Lashley drops him. We're about to see a spear, the lights go out, and Bobby is left alone. Man, I have a bad feeling about this match. WWE are going to ruin it again. It's going to be too much. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. This Uncle Howdy thing, I'm not interested anymore. I don't care. I don't care. Unmask the guy. I don't know. Bray Wyatt needs a serious change already, in my opinion. And finally, we got Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa. So the match was really fun, you know, the story is great, whatever. Not necessarily sure how I feel about the finish of this match, because it seems like, you know, Sami Zayn should win, of course. But the thing is, Solo Sikoa never lost in one-on-one action, I believe. So it's like they gotta protect the guy too. Why would you book this match in the first place? Why not Sami versus Jimmy? Of course, with the help of Jimmy, Solo Sikoa wins the match. I don't know why. Feels like a bad decision with all this Sami Zayn hype. Not so sure about it. After the match, they attacked Sami Zayn. They beaten the crap out of the guy. And then they were about to do the Bloodline chair spot. But Sami Zayn gets away and takes care of the Bloodline. So by the end of the show, Sami Zayn stands tall. Still, not the best idea to book this match in my opinion. What was the point? After almost beating Roman Reigns, now he lost to Solo Sikoa. Typical WWE. But yes, that was your SmackDown. A pretty decent show. Can't wait for WrestleMania. Honestly, I'm very excited. People complain about long-term booking. I feel like most WrestleMania matches actually have that. Thank you for watching The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.